How do you make progress every single day? No matter what? That's the real question. Because life doesn't pause. It doesn't check in to see if you're ready. It doesn't care if you're tired, unmotivated, unsure, or overwhelmed. Life keeps moving. With you or without you. And the truth is, if you want real success, if you want to feel fulfilled, you've got to learn how to move with it. Now here's the thing. Progress doesn't have to be big. It doesn't need to be dramatic or showy. It doesn't even have to be visible to anyone else. But it must be consistent. A little bit, every single day. Because the real transformations, the deep, lasting changes in life, they don't come from one huge decision. They don't come from a lucky break. They come from daily disciplines. From small, quiet wins stacked up over time. Most people are waiting. Waiting to feel motivated. Waiting for the right time. Waiting until they feel fully ready. But let's be real. Motivation is flaky. The right time doesn't really exist. And feeling ready is a myth. The people who win, the ones who make real progress, they're not the ones with the best circumstances. They're the ones who kept going anyway. So how do you do that? How do you make progress when you're exhausted? When things aren't going your way? When you're putting in work and not seeing results? That's what we're going to talk about. No fluff. No theory. Just real, practical ways to make sure you're getting something out of every single day. Because at the end of the day, progress is a decision. And once you understand how to create momentum, once you learn how to generate it daily, you become unstoppable. Let's start here. You've got to stop negotiating with yourself. Seriously. Most people wake up and immediately start bargaining with their own brain. Should I get up now or hit snooze? Should I stick to my routine or give myself a break? Should I work on my goals today, or just chill for now? Here's the problem. The second you give yourself an option, you give yourself an excuse. Discipline isn't about feeling inspired. It's about making a decision and honoring it, no matter what. Successful people don't debate with themselves. They don't run the maybe script in their head. They just do. Because if you start your day by negotiating, you're already losing. Your mind, it's wired to seek comfort. To choose the path of least resistance. That's why motivation can't be your main fuel source. Want to know the cheat code? The first decision of your day sets the tone for the rest of it. Win your morning, you gain momentum. Lose your morning, and excuses become easier all day long. So what's the move? Make your standards non-negotiable. Not flexible. Not dependent on mood. Just part of who you are. You said you'd wake up early. Get up. Said you'd move your body. Move it. Said you'd work on your craft. Do it. Even if no one's watching. Because every time you follow through, you build something way more powerful than momentum. You build self-respect. Confidence doesn't come from talent. Or luck. Or how loud you talk. Confidence comes from one thing. Trusting yourself. And most people, they don't. They've broken so many promises to themselves. They don't even believe their own words anymore. But here's the good news. You can rebuild that trust. Every time you do the thing you said you would do, even in the smallest way, you tell yourself, hey, I'm someone who follows through. Do that enough times, and something shifts. You stop needing outside validation. You stop doubting your own capability. Now let's talk about one of the biggest progress killers out there. The all-or-nothing mindset. You know the one. If I can't do it perfectly, I shouldn't bother at all. If I don't have an hour to work out, what's the point? If I can't give it 100%, maybe I'll wait till I can. That thinking? It's a trap. Because life isn't perfect. Schedules change. Energy fluctuates. And if your plan only works when conditions are ideal, you're setting yourself up to fail. Here's the mindset shift. Something is always better than nothing. Can't get a full workout in? Do 10 minutes. Can't read for an hour? Read for 5. Too tired for a long work session? Send one email. That's still progress. Because progress is about motion. And motion, no matter how small, keeps you moving forward. Let me hit you with a stat that's wild but true. If you get just 1% better every single day, you're not just 365% better in a year. You're over 37 times better. That's the power of compound growth. It's not sexy. It's not flashy. But it works. Tiny steps, taken consistently, add up to something massive. Alright, pause and reflect for a second. What's one small thing you can do today that your future self will thank you for? Not something flashy. Not something for the highlight reel. Just something real. That keeps you moving forward. Because this isn't about perfection. It's about direction. And the truth is, you're always just one decision away from being back on track. Let's talk about focus. Because what you focus on expands. Most people, they spend all day thinking about what's going wrong, what they don't have, what they can't do. They zoom in on every obstacle, every limitation, every flaw. And guess what that does? It drains your energy. It stalls your progress. And worst of all, it reinforces the belief that you're stuck. But people who grow, people who get better every single day, they focus on what they can do. They focus on options, not obstacles. They put their energy into action, not anxiety. So check in with yourself. What are you focused on right now? Because if your focus is on what's missing, you're going to feel empty. But if your focus is on what's possible, you'll start spotting opportunities that were right there all along. Now here's something no one really talks about. Hesitation. Hesitation kills progress faster than failure ever could. Think about it. How many times in your life did you want to do something, but you paused? You hesitated. You second-guessed. You overthought it. And by the time you convinced yourself to move, the moment was already gone. That right there. That's the danger. Hesitation doesn't just slow you down. It stops you. And it doesn't matter how good your ideas are, how talented you are, how much potential you have. If you can't make decisions and take action, none of it matters. So how do you beat hesitation? You shorten the gap between thought and action. You stop thinking about doing it, and just start doing it. It's simple. Not easy, but simple. You feel the resistance? Good. That means it matters. Count down from 5. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Move. Don't wait. Don't overthink. Don't negotiate. Because here's the truth. Confidence doesn't precede action, it follows it. Most people wait until they feel confident before they act. But the truth is, confidence is built through action. You take action. You get feedback. You get better. Then you feel more confident. That's how the cycle actually works. Let me give you a visual. Think about a rocket launching into space. Most of its fuel burned in the first few minutes, just to get through the atmosphere. But once it breaks through that resistance, it glides. That's how progress works. The beginning is always the hardest part. But once you're in motion, once you get some reps in, once you break through that initial push, everything else gets easier. And that's why discipline matters so much more than motivation. Because motivation is a spark. It's a mood. It comes and goes. Discipline. That's the fuel. That's what keeps you moving. When motivation is nowhere to be found. So how do you build discipline? One word: repetition. The more you do something, the more automatic it becomes. The first time you wake up early? Brutal. The 10th time? Manageable. The 100th time? Routine. You train discipline the same way you train a muscle. Through reps, through doing. Through follow-through. Now here's the trap most people fall into. They wait until they feel like it. They let emotion drive their decisions. I don't feel like working out today. I'm not in the mood to focus. I'll start once I feel more motivated. But here's the raw truth. If you only do what you feel like doing, you'll never get anywhere worth going. Because feelings are temporary. They're unpredictable. They're unreliable. But commitment? Commitment is solid. Commitment is dependable. Commitment gets you results. So here's the real question. Can you show up when it's hard? Can you do the work when no one's watching? Can you take the next step, even when everything inside you is telling you to wait? Because that's what separates people who try from people who transform. The people who win. They don't just act when it's easy. They act when it's uncomfortable. When it's inconvenient. When it's messy. That's how progress is built. One imperfect, consistent step at a time. Now let's shift gears for a second. Let's talk about direction. Because progress is not just about moving. It's about moving in the right direction. You can be busy all day and still go nowhere. It's like rowing a boat with all your strength, but going in the wrong direction. You're exhausted, but you're still stuck. That's why alignment matters. Are your daily actions actually leading you where you want to go? Are they connected to your bigger vision? Or are you just checking off boxes and calling it progress? To get clear on this, you need one simple habit. Reflection. Most people don't pause. They move from task to task, day to day, without ever checking if they're still on course. But the people who grow, they evaluate. They ask, is what I'm doing right now moving me closer to where I want to be? Are my actions aligned with my vision? Do I need to adjust my strategy? Think about a pilot. They don't just take off and hope for the best. They're constantly checking their instruments. Adjusting for wind, turbulence, unexpected changes. Course correcting mid-flight. You've got to do the same with your life. Because even a 1-degree shift over time can take you somewhere completely different. Let's talk about something people overlook. Energy. You can have the best goals, the best strategy, the best mindset. But if your energy is low, everything feels 10 times harder. Here's the truth. Time management is useless if you don't have the energy to use it well. So ask yourself, what gives me energy? What drains me? What habits are fueling me, and which ones are burning me out? Look at your basics. Sleep, food, movement, screen time. You don't need a full lifestyle overhaul. Just smart adjustments. Drink more water. Take 10 minutes to move your body. Get at least 7 hours of real, quality rest. These things aren't optional. They're fuel. And don't forget your mental energy. Your thoughts. Your content. Your conversations. They all shape your state. So be honest. What are you letting into your head every day? Who are you listening to? What kind of messages are you feeding your brain? If your environment is full of negativity, you'll feel it. If you're around people who make excuses all day, guess what? You'll start making them too. So guard your mind. Like your life depends on it. Because in a way, it does. Now, let's talk about the thing that stops most people. Frustration. People don't quit because it's hard. They quit because it's not happening fast enough. We live in a world addicted to fast results. 30-day transformation. Overnight success. Instant returns. But real growth? It doesn't work like that. It's quiet. It's slow. It's invisible, until it isn't. Think about a bamboo tree. You water it for years, and see nothing. But underground, it's growing roots. It's building a foundation. Then one day, boom. It shoots up. That's progress. So if you're showing up daily, and it feels like nothing's happening, don't stop. Something is building. You just can't see it yet. Now let me say something that might surprise you. Rest is part of progress. Let me say it again. Rest is part of progress. You can't burn yourself out and expect long-term results. Think like an athlete. They don't go full speed every day. They train. Then they recover. Because they know. The body grows during recovery. The mind resets during stillness. So schedule your rest. Protect it. Honor it. This isn't laziness. It's longevity. Now let's talk about something that amplifies your growth. Giving back. You want to grow faster. Help someone else grow. You want to master a skill. Teach it. You want to stay sharp. Share your journey. Because the more you give, the more you grow. A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. It just creates more light. Progress isn't just about what you gain. It's about what you contribute. So teach. Lift. Inspire. And you'll become stronger in the process. Let's close with the final piece. Gratitude. Gratitude changes everything. When you focus only on what's missing, you'll always feel like you're falling behind. But when you pause and look back, when you appreciate how far you've come, you fuel the desire to keep going. So every day, take a second to be grateful. Grateful for the progress you have made. Grateful for the chance to grow more. Grateful for the strength to try again. Because gratitude isn't weakness. It's power. So here's the truth. Progress is not a one-time thing. It's not a big dramatic moment. It's a daily decision. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more hype. You already know what to do. The question is, will you do it? Because progress, real progress, isn't about speed. It's about direction. One small step forward is still forward. And if you do that, day after day, you become unstoppable. So ask yourself, what's one small thing you can do today to move forward? Not tomorrow. Not someday. Today. Because the only way to fail is to stop. So don't stop. Not now. Not ever. Your future is waiting. Move toward it every single day. No matter what.